All right, and back at it again. We've got percentages this time, page 3 or 4, and loose leaf paper if you run out of room. So we've got two objectives: analyze situations with percents to find part of a whole or the percentage given the two other values, and determine the remaining percent given the percentage of all other parts. So this is something that comes up some in chemistry. It's also something that comes up a bunch in our daily lives, as you'll see with the examples. It's also something that comes up in the ACT quite a lot, and they're going to try to trick you, but I'm going to try to give you some skills to be able to help you out here. So first, what is a percent? So we've got a cent, think a penny here, and a cent is 100 of those in a dollar. And the reason that we call it a cent is because it's 1/100th of a dollar. So cent is 1/100th. Okay, percent is out of 100, and so that helps us get like 20% is 20 out of 100. We can reduce that down to 2 out of 10, which reduces down to 1 out of 5. Again, that's from a previous video that you may have watched. If you are unsure about how to do those fractions, then you may want to jump over and do the fractions and decimals video as well. So that means that 20 cents is 1/5 of a dollar, and if you give 20 cents 5 times, then you gave a whole dollar. 25 times is a whole dollar. Um, Percents as decimals. So 20% is 20 out of 100, like we saw in the last slide, and can be represented as 0.20 or 0.2. You move that decimal place 2 times to the left is how you can easily get from percentages to decimals. So if I've got a percent, then I can move the decimal place twice over like that, and I can do the opposite if I'm in a decimal and need to get to a percent. Then let's try this. What is 20% of 50? When you do that, you should get one way to do that is 50 times 10 over 100, which is 10. You can also go ahead and convert that percent to a decimal, so 50 times 0.2 equals 10. And then whichever way of those you prefer is totally fine. Here's another way. So same situation, but we can think about this as what is 10% of 50? This is actually how I do tips. So if I want to do a 20% tip, then I think what's 10% of 50? Well, that is $5. And since 20% is twice of 10%, then $5 would get me to my 20%. So I would give a $10 tip. Again, that's just how I do tips here. Again, just another way. You can use one of the two previous ways, and that'll totally work. So doing complex ones, again, follows the same strategy. Go ahead and pause video and see if you can tackle this one. All right, welcome back. We've got 32%. Again, for me personally, I'm going to move decimal. I'm going to have 0.32, and then I'll do that times 125, and that'll give me $40 as my answer here. Okay, again, a couple of different ways that I showed you in the past slide for you to do that. That's just one of the ways. Then if you've got 20% of a dollar, how much would you have been given? You would indeed have 20 cents. And if you are thinking how much would you have left, then you'd have 80 cents left. Okay? You gave up 20 cents, 20% of the dollar, and have 80 cents left. Another way that you can think of that, how do you get there? You could have said, okay, well, if I gave up 20% of a dollar, then that means that I have 80% left. because percents are always out of 100. And then 80% of a dollar, what I have left is 80 cents. Okay, that's going to apply when we solve the second part of this problem. So we've got 25 fruits and 40% are apples. We want to find how many apples do we have. So we've got 25 times 40% as a decimal, 0.40 equals 10 apples. Okay. Then if we ask how many pears do I have, then there are two ways to go about this. You can do the 25 times 0.40 gives me 10 apples. The ACT will a lot of times ask questions like this so that they hope you give this answer and forget that you have to get to pairs. So actually what you would need to do is, now that I have how many apples I've got to subtract that from my total so that I get, I've got 10 apples, which gives me 15 pairs. So that's one strategy of doing that. The other way that you can do it is if I've got 40% apples, then that means that I've got 60% pairs. And then I can just do my multiplication here. So 25 times 0.60, and that gives me 15 pairs. All right, again, I'm just giving you guys options for tackling these problems. Both of those work perfectly fine. So we've got another one. We've got, my niece goes to the store to buy a t-shirt and normally costs $20. Sale for 25% off. How much is the shirt today? So we've got the way that you solve this is you've got original times the percent equals the final. Okay, the way that I personally do this is instead of going for the percent off, I try to figure out what percent is left. That way I'm not having to do two problems. I'm not having to find the discount and then subtract it. So if I have 25% off, then that means that it is 75% left. Okay, so then the original was $20 times 75%, which is 0.75, equals $15. That would be my answer for the cost of that shirt. Okay. A bit of a trickier question is if you see a price of a dress is currently $40, but it's already 20% off, and you want to know what the original price of the dress is. Okay, so a little bit trickier, but you can tackle it. Before we do, let's go ahead and review what we did in the last problem. So in the last problem, we had $20 of the original price and 25% off, so we multiplied by 0.75. We saw that that formula that we used was original times percentage equals the final. So we're going to use that and try to piece that together. One thing that's going to help you a ton is as soon as you can think of something, put that down on the paper. So we've got original. As soon as I know that this is what I'm doing, I'm putting that on the paper. So original times percent equals final. Why that's helpful is now I know, okay, so I've got, that's my final, and it's already 20% off. That means that 80% of that is left. So that's going to be my percentage here. And I'm trying to find my original. That's what it says, what was the original. So then original times, it said 80%, which is 0.80, equals $40 for my final. Okay? Just like in the algebra video, if you watch that, I've got multiplication here, so I need to divide both sides by whatever I'm trying to get rid of. So 0.80 divided by 0.80 cancels on the left, so my original price is going to be $50. Okay? Then creating percents. So if I have a situation and I want to create a percent, I'm thinking about this as some portion out of a whole. So that's how you're making these percents. So in this case, 10 apples, but the total is 30 pieces of fruit. Percentage of apples is what we're looking for. So then I want to put the number of apples I have, which is 10 apples, over the total, which is 30 total fruit. And then I can get that to a percent by going ahead and doing that calculation. And I get 0.333, and it goes on forever. Move decimal back the other way, 1, 2, because I'm going from a decimal to a percent. That gives me 33.3 repeating percent. Okay, so start with whatever the part is out of a whole, get the decimal, and then convert that to a percent. Back to some percentage problems. We got you go out to dinner at Fresh Market maybe, and bill comes out to $41. Want to leave a 20% tip. How much do you leave for a tip? So the way to do that is you can go ahead and calculate this out and get 41. I'm going to do this the same sort of way. So if I am adding a 20% tip, then whenever I get this final number, I'm going to have to add it to my 41. Okay, so we've got $41 times my 0.20 tip, my 20% tip, equals, and that's going to give me $8.2. Then I have to add that 41 plus 8.2, and I've got 49.2 here. Okay. Questions on that one? All right. Go ahead and try. We are at Walmart. You go to IGA and purchase $54 worth of groceries. You take your receipt to Walmart, and it's identical groceries, but 5% less. What's your bill at Walmart? Go ahead and pause the video and try that one. Okay, we've got $54 worth of groceries, and it's going to be 5% less. Again, write down what we've got. So original times percent equals final. I know my original was $54. Percent is going to be, thinking about this, 5% less means that 95% is going to be remaining. Okay, you can also do multiply by 5% and then subtract it. 0.95 equals my final, and that gives me a final of $51.30. Okay. Then if I go to Burks, discover cost $16 to purchase a shirt, tell me it's going to be that the price is 25% off, and we want to find the original. Go ahead and pause. Try that one. All right, we've got, again, original times percent equals final. I've got my original right here, or my final, sorry, final is going to be the 16%. Again, that's why putting down what we know is so helpful. And then it's 25% off, which means that that is 75% of the original. We want to know what the original is. So then original times my 75% off equals final, which was 16. Multiplying, so I've got to do the inverse operation, which is divide by 0.75. And I've got original equals 21.33, and that's repeating, but we can't have fractions, or we can't have fractions of a cent, so that'll be my original cost there. Okay. Then we've got one last one. Go to a store prepared to buy some chips for $4. Ended up costing you $3.50. What's the percent discount? So again, original times percent equals final. Go ahead and try that one. Pause the video. All right, welcome back. We've got original is $4. My final is 3.5. I want to know what the percent is. So my original is $4 times the percent equals 3.50. Okay. Now, it's going to be a little bit tricky because when I find this percent, this is probably the trickiest type of problem that you'll see. But when I find that percent, it's going to be the percent that this final is. So I'll have to find the difference of that. Okay. So when I find that percent, I'm going to divide by 4, and percent equals 0.875. That's the decimal form of that, which means that that was 87.5% of the total. Again, this is like the trickiest type of thing that ACT will give you. If you can tackle this, then you can definitely tackle anything that you're going to see in chemistry. And with that, since I want to know the percent discount, then I have to get what the rest of that is out of 100. So that would be 12.5% discount. Okay. Then go ahead and try to tackle the questions on the worksheet. Let me know what questions you have, and you guys are doing awesome. Thank you guys.